Hello there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1035 of What You Up To Now, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of real business to the online world. In 2017, I had the opportunity, as part of my divorce, to divest myself of all my other businesses and do something I'd always wanted to do. I'd always been curious about the online world, but I'd never really had the time to explore it or the energy to explore it. I've been curious, but I hadn't really dug in. So in 2017, I was able to dig in and actually spend some time and energy learning about it and experiencing it for myself. Learned a lot of lessons along the way, made some big boneheaded mistakes, and had some incredible successes as well. So I like to share and document and keep track of what I'm doing. So today I'm thinking about data analysis, and data and information analysis as part of the No Nonsense November. This month of November, one of my amazing friends and challenge cohorts challenged me to share a tool a day, a tool that I use and have used for, in some cases, decades, to make my life better, make my life work. And so today was about data analysis. Yesterday was about critical thinking, and I was doing data analysis, critical thinking, and I'm like, two topics, two totally not unrelated, but different topics that each deserve their own tools and tool of the day. There's a gazillion. I didn't even talk about this in the No Nonsense channel, but there are a lot of tools just for information and data analysis. Tons of them. There's SQL, there's Excel, there's a slew of data gathering, data capturing, data analyzing, data graphing, technologies and tools out there. There's apps. There's probably 1,000 apps, if not more. Because data gathering and data analysis comes from things as simple as tracking what we eat, tracking what we do. I've got a Fitbit on that tracks all kinds of data. It collects the data from my body. How many steps do I make? My heart rate, how long do I sleep? Things like that. And then it gives me a graph of those things. It analyzes the data, or it gives me the graph so that I can analyze the data. It gives me the raw data and the graph of the raw data. Plus, it does do some analysis and summaries for me. Now, again, those are filtered through what is important and what the organization of Fitbit thinks that I should see. But I can go in and I can create my own analysis if I want to focus on or look at and see different things. And that's really important. The biggest challenge, I think, today with information analysis and data analysis is we're not given access to the real information. We're not only, but in most cases, most of us are exposed to a very filtered down, manipulated, propagandized version of information. And we're actually being lied to in that information. And that appalls me in the United States of America, that social media, big media, and our media stations are able to and allowed to lie and manipulate it. What happened to fact checking the media? Remember when I was in journalism as a girl, that we had to fact check, and people would actually fact check us on our who, what, where, when, why, and how. Now, you don't even have to have the who, what, where, when, why, and how when you're reporting or doing a journalism story. You can make it all, it's like all op-ed editorializing that's being shared. And I find that super frightening and super manipulative, especially here in the land of the free and the land of the brave and in America. I would never have expected us to let things go this far, but apparently we have. So, data analysis and information analysis, critical to help us make decisions, right? We need to manipulated and false information. And sometimes it's hard to get at that. And sometimes it takes a little more work and effort. But guess what? It's always worth it, because we're making decisions that are right for us, not are told to us that are right for us. Because guess what? Sometimes people that tell us things are right for us are not telling us what's really right for us. They're telling us what benefits them the most. Can you imagine that? People would want to manipulate us or get us to do things for their benefit. Happens every day online. One of the biggest frustrations I've had in the online world is how much BS, sugarcoating, outright lying and manipulation goes on in the name of marketing and good marketing. It's appalling. I actually got a marketing degree when I was in college and studying many, many things. And it's kind of like journalism. I look at it And it kind of gives me a stomach ache because it's been so convoluted and so prostituted and so manipulated to be something different than it was ever intended to be. So that was our no nonsense November, getting ready for December 1st. And I've got a bunch of work to do on this today, fun work, to get ready for the final 5th Get Up and Go challenge for the year 2020. And 2020 has been the perfect year to focus on getting up and going, knowing what to do, confidently moving forward and doing it, and having a framework for guaranteeing that we're always better off after we faced a change or challenge than before we faced that change or challenge. And that's what the Get Up and Go challenge is all about. So our final free 30-day challenge will begin just in a couple of days, December 1st. So I invite you to join us there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a little different than the other previous challenges have been, but it's going to be fun. I'll share a bunch more tools. I started in the October challenge sharing a tool a day that went along with the topic we were discussing, and that's kind of what led to No Nonsense November, sharing a tool a day. And then I'll continue that into the December challenge, because there's so many tools that we can use, that I do use, and that are available and can make our life so much simpler, so much easier. It's just like data analysis. There's tools, if you can get your hands on the data, there's tools you can use to really easily analyze and look at data and disseminate the information that you need to make the best choices for you. Fun challenge today was about books, and it was a saying about the person always carries around 2 books, one to read and one to write in. And I can totally relate to that, because if you catch me anywhere, I usually have in my backpack or in my purse a book to read with my magnifying glass these days, and big writing. They all have giant writing in them nowadays, and a book to write in. I always have something to write in with me, because we never know when we're going to get an aha moment or an idea or a thought that we want to capture. And I learned a long, long time ago, if I don't write it down, it's like in one ear and out the other. It's gone. Today, idioms ran out. I used my entire idiom book up. It has 600 plus idioms in it, and I think I got to like 635 from counting. And I finish off every idiom in the book. And what I do is I take that idiom and I look at what's the meaning of it, where did it come from, and how might my audience be able to use it to grow and build the business. And there are all different types of businesses that people are growing, so it's got to be pretty flexible in understanding and meaning and presenting, so that can be used to any type of business for the most part. I personally love manufacturing businesses, but I serve a lot of people in all different types of businesses and industries. So I ran out of them in my book, and I had to think of, well, what am I going to do? Well, Thanksgiving was easy, because I just searched Thanksgiving idioms, and I picked, a bunch, shared a bunch, and said, hey, share your favorite Thanksgiving idiom, or pick your favorite Thanksgiving idiom. Yesterday, Black Friday, is actually an idiom in and of itself, so that was an easy one. And then for today, I needed to come up with something different. So I spent about an hour researching and looking at different idioms and idiom books. There's like 28,000 idioms in the English language alone, but there really isn't one key source for all of them. So I end up finding and looking at about a handful of sources every time I'm looking at a new idiom. Well, today I thought, well, I'll start with A, right? We'll pick an A idiom. And able, the word able came up. And there's like 27 or more different idioms that talk about ability. You're able to do something, and some of them are able to do it easily, effortlessly, and then there's the same number plus a few more of not able to do something. And so it always reminds me of Henry Ford. Well, whether you think you can or think you can't, either way you're right. And that's so true. It's one of my favorite sayings. It's one of my favorite quotes, and it always reminds me of my dad teaching us there's no such thing as can't. My sisters and I were continually reminded that there's no such thing as can't. If we would say that we wanted something and we were kind of whiny about it, he would look at us and he'd say there's no such thing as can't, meaning figure out a way, figure out how you're going to make it happen, but don't whine and complain about you can't do something or can't have it. So lots of able idioms today, which was kind of fun. I didn't realize how far and how deep our thoughts and beliefs about what we can and cannot do, what we are able to do and not able to do, and how much we let other people tell us and influence in terms of what we think that we can and cannot do. And so I always remember my dad and Henry Ford, there's no such thing as can't. Now, people like to argue with me about the no such thing as can't, but usually if you want it bad enough, there's no such thing as can't. There's always a way. So those are the things I'm working on. I'm going to work on mapping out the next Get Up and Go challenge. I always like to just have a sheet with day 1 through 35, and then 1 through 31. It'll be a 31-day challenge, and then we'll be into the new year. So I think I mentioned I'm going to framework, form out, and do all the legwork and groundwork for a challenge summit in early 2021. And I'm going to do that as part of the challenge, which is different. I've never done a, a project throughout the entire challenge for moving forward in my life. Probably should have been, but I haven't. So this time, that is what I'm specifically going to do. That is my side intent and purpose in the challenge for me personally. Most people will just come through the challenge and want to figure out and have a way for guaranteeing that they're better off and getting the results they want after they face a challenge or change than before they face that challenge or change. And they want to be better at that. I'm going to do that plus have this overall project that I'm mapping out. So I'll be doing that real time for the summit during the challenge, which is that's why I need to map out, okay, how do the blocks and how do I want to present the information so that it does it, but that I actually do the homework, and that helps me to create the end result I want. So it's kind of a dual challenge, because I do all my own challenges. Anytime I lead a challenge, I actually do the challenge right along with the participants. Why? Because I see where the flaws are, where the missing pieces are, where the questions come up, where I can continually improve and get better at sharing the information and the things that I share. So working on that. I guess that's it. It's Thanksgiving weekend, a holiday weekend. I want to do some Christmas decorating today as well. So have a fun day. If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. Bye.